Hey, what's up everyone, it's Ultimate Spider-Man here, and today we're going to be talking about the San Diego Comic-Con trailer for Spider-Man 2, the upcoming video game that's going to be out on the PS5, and I'm just going to be talking about my thoughts on the trailer and doing like a breakdown of it, and I have some theories for where the story is going to go just based off the trailer. So in that case, here we go. I know I'm late to the party, but hey, better late than never, right? Also, I would appreciate it if you would smash that like button, and if you like what you see here, please subscribe to the channel. With that being said, let's jump straight into this. The trailer begins with Peter and Harry. Harry starts the trailer with how he has a second chance, and he's going to take advantage of it. But he needs Peter with him after everything that has happened in the past 10 years. So he starts the trailer off with the quote, "We're going to heal the world." Now pay attention to this, as it's going to come up again later. It continues to shots of the landscapes of New York City, and with two Spider-Men swinging, but then we get to this part in the trailer where it's a festival happening, but in this shot there are three references to some characters from the comics, and even from the 1994 cartoon, for those of you who have seen it. So Big Wheel, it references the vehicle ran by Joseph Wheel in the comics. Jackson Wheel, excuse me. Hydro, it references Hydro Man, Morris Bench from the cartoon and also the comics, and Speed Demon James Sanders is also from the comics. So Pete introduces Miles and Genki to Harry, who's obviously like a close friend for Peter and MJ in this universe. It's cool that they have this moment in the trailer, and it makes me hope, well, there could be more interactions between Harry and Miles. Also, it looks as though Peter is going to be a teacher in the sequel, when Miles said, "So new job, huh? Still got time for tutoring?" Which is pretty much amazing. This is the progression for Spidey that we needed after the first game. It cuts to the part in the trailer where it looks as though we'll be facing off one of the enemies in Kraven's faction, which is a brute that supports the Grizzly look. In this shot of the trailer, so Pete informs MJ about Kraven, that he's on some kind of hunt in NYC. And after that piece of dialogue, we see Pete in his formal outfit. To me, I think based off that part in the trailer, it's going to be at least a stealth section for Peter, where we find out more about the backstory for Kraven. We get to this part in the trailer where there seems to be some SWAT officers and there's some researcher for Oscorp that finds a symbiote. This proves that it came from outer space and it's not man-made. I believe Insomniac is doing a mix between 616 and the Ultimate Comics, where it came from outer space, and Norman believes this can cure cancer and other diseases. This could be me just overthinking this, but what if in this part of the trailer it could be a flashback to Pete's dad, Richard Parker, finding the symbiote? I think for me it would be cool because it would be inspired off of the Ultimate Comics, where Peter and Harry's dad are just friends that came together to work on the Venom symbiote, and their goal was to use it to cure people's diseases like cancer, for example. In the Insomniac universe, it could add to the friendship between Peter and Harry because their dads were friends with each other. It may not be the case, as this could either A, be Kurt Connors, or B, a random researcher, but this is just wishful thinking. We cut to a moment where we see the return of Martin Lee from the first game. To be honest though, I was expecting him to return for a bit, also because of how Lee was handled after Peter defeats him from the first game, and well, he was never seen again until now. It made me think that Insomniac wasn't finished with Martin Lee. Miles said,
"You don't know what you took from me,"
which is badass coming from him, but it looks as though from this line that Miles wants revenge against him, after, well, Lee took away Miles' dad in the first game in the City Hall bombing mission. I think based off this part in the trailer that Miles wants to kill Mr. Negative after, well, he did took his dad away from him, which it's reasonable considering the circumstances that happened in the first game. It's unclear whether Martin still has the negative side of him or if he's not Mr. Negative anymore. Personally, I think maybe he could have the Mr. Negative side of him from the first game, but we'll have to wait and see. We get the conversation with Rio Morales and Peter Parker about Miles on how to be a better hero, how to be a better Spider-Man, and how to help Peter Parker. In the trailer, it's heavily implied that Rio knows that Peter is Spider-Man. If Rio didn't know, then this conversation wouldn't have happened in the first place. My theory or my guess on where the conversation takes place is after when Peter gets rid of the symbiote. If Rio sees symbiote Spidey doing crazy shit like brutally beating up criminals, for example, she will feel worried and notice that something's off with Spidey because he's not normally like this. She knows that Miles is Spidey, but what she doesn't know is that Peter is also Spider-Man, which means it's going to create some tension between the two characters, which I love. We then see the moment in the trailer where MJ hides from Peter when he's in his symbiote suit, which is actually inspired by the cover of the second issue for Spider-Man Spider Shadow by Chip Zdarsky. From what it looks like, we may get an MJ mission, but one that's horror-themed, which for me it's fine. I think the horror-themed missions for MJ is great on their own, as it's going to add that level of tension for the player. We see the lizard roaring, and the symbiote that Pete's wearing, it doesn't really love these noises, which means for Insomniac's take, one of the weaknesses we could see is the loud noises. Next shot we see is Harry in a fit of rage, which could indicate that Peter and Harry's friendship has fallen. Maybe there could be a moment in the game where Harry finds out that Peter is Spider-Man after Peter explains to him what the hell happened, and what the symbiote is doing to its host on top of that, and explaining why it changes the person and that he needs to destroy it. Similar to how Peter explained what happened when he used the symbiote to Eddie Brock in the Ultimate Comics. Next, we hear Venom say the same line that Harry said in the trailer.
We're going to heal the world.
This indicates that at least in the main narrative of the game, we're going to see Harry become Venom, which is already a huge risk that they're going in, but for me personally, I can't wait to see how it's going to be paid off when the full game comes out. So there you go, there's my main breakdown of it. As my thoughts and reactions on the trailer, I think it's pretty good for me personally. Like, I really love the trailer. I love the music that they used. Like, John Paisano's like really top notch with his music. Now, I just want to make things clear here for the trailer. Harry Osborn being Venom, I see people say that, yeah, it's predictable. I'm just gonna say it's just because something's predictable, it doesn't mean it's going to be bad. Like, it's been clearly set up in the first two games that Harry is going to be Venom. Also, shoutouts to Long Live the Spider-Verse for saying this. But just because you don't see Eddie Brock in the trailer, like the story trailer for the game, it doesn't mean that, oh, he's not going to have a role at all in the main story for the game. Or else, why was his name specifically mentioned in that goodbye letter for one of the backpacks you collect in the first game? See what I'm saying? But yeah, these are just two things that I wanted to get cleared up. So yeah, please let me know in the comments below. I'm curious to hear what you guys think of the story trailer. And well, what are you guys' theories for the main story for Spider-Man 2? Please let me know in the comments below, and this is the Ultimate Spider-Man, signing off.